Salute, salute, salute. Peace and power, peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things, all things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. Salute, salute, salute. As you come on in, please know that you are in a safe space. Know that you're in a space of learning and getting learned up. Know that you are in a space of love. Know that you are in a space of educating and being educated. Know that you are in a space of dialogue, conversation, communication, comments, concerns. Know that you are in a space of analyzing. Know that you are in a space where you are loved. This is a space of unity. This is a space where we unite to move forward on our path towards true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please put all funding information in the chat for the duration of class. Fund this war effort. Please put all contact information in the chat for the duration of class. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. If you or anyone you know is in need of domestic violence intervention, domestic violence assistance, and you believe that you are witnessing a domestic violence situation and you are unsure, please book an assessment. Learn the alerts, the warning signs, the signals of possible domestic violence or abuse. Find out the strategies that help you survive and thrive should you happen to be in a domestic violence situation. Okay? The life you save could be your own. Before I begin, as you can see, there's a lot of people that could be tagged and need to be tagged in this class. But as we know, this is Friday, it's Sober Friday. So if anybody is struggling with an addiction, whether it is smoking cigarettes, whether it is smoking krills, right? If you are a crunch monster, which means if you crunch crack, if you have an addiction to pain medication, to perks, to whatever, if you have a heroin addiction, if you have an alcohol addiction, please reach out for some help. You're not alone. Again, we save this Friday space for anybody who is in treatment to feel free to use the chat to network and assist somebody that may be struggling, right? So this is a Sober Friday. I'm not going to front. I'm very triggered. I had a lot going on over the last couple of days, but I'm going to make sure I get through this class with as much tact and as much intelligence as we have been going. As hard, right? As hard as we've been going, which is much tact and intelligence and flow as we can to maintain a space of educating and being educated, of learning and learning from each other. But As you can see from the thumbnail, many people need to be tagged because one thing that triggers me more than anything is lies and deceit. Lies and deceit, right? Misinformation, false narratives to our people. And, you know, now we are in an age where we term that capping, okay? But before we go into tagging these individuals into class and to, again, putting them on Front Street for capping, first order business. Who's in class? Strictly Game of Brand, I see you here. April Brown, salute, salute, salute. And educators in the building. Okay, E. Blanding, salute. What's going on with you? See Blaze, what's going on? Rugi Hauser, you are in the building. What's going on with you? Bushhead, we see you. Cool K. Kane. Yes. Merklow 28, what's going on? A. Wood is in the building. Sean Jenkins. Desmond Elmore. Not Desmond. Why does it say S? That's Demond. Demond, what's going on? Mark Hines. Jamal Rogers. Tierra Green, I see you. Tierra, I see your teeth are shining bright. I see it from here. Good bill of health from the dentist today. No doubt, no doubt. We see you up in class. Construction, site, media, TV, salute to you too. What's going on? You just got from the plantation? Okay, good. So you ain't get fired this weekend. That's what's going on. Bernadette, I see you. Angel, I see you. Geechee34, Nadeem Rogers from the UK. I know it's about 3 a.m. Salute. You up in here. Jeff Spark, okay, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? I see you, Mark. I see you. Disobey. Disobeys in a spotty spot tonight? Let me find out. Let me find out. He pulled away from the track boards and the microphones to come up in here. Salute to you, kid. That's what's going on. M. Dot. What? M. Dot. 55. First 55 of Friday. Johnny Boy, 55. Oh, man. Back to back unpopular opinions. Philly Sheed. Uh-oh. Lee Guinness, 55. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, y'all came in on a tail end. Johnny Boy, know better, too. He know he ain't supposed to get no 55. But he got it, and he gonna hold it. 55. 55, Johnny, 55. D. Rich, what's going on? Hood Center highlights. Ooh, Hood Center 55. That's what we talking about. 55s is all up in the spotty spot tonight. We see them coming hard. Coming hard. What's going on? Yeah. Metal Face 7-8. When is my day off? I don't have a day off. I don't have a day off. Nah. Our people don't get a day off from the struggle, so I don't get a day off. Nah, Ronnie Morning Coffee, you're never late. Never late. But you get a 55 for not being here. Yeah. For the last few classes. Yeah. Okay? I know, William. I know how to hit you. So again, there's a lot going on. As y'all can see from the thumbnail, a lot of people need to get tapped in. Montez, salute. Much appreciated for funding the war effort. Much appreciated. We see it. And again, these people that are capping and continuously capping are very triggering. Very triggering. I am in a space now where it is, because I see it. I'm in the streets all day. And shout out to the people who see me in the streets, and show me love. I appreciate it. While I'm working, I see you, and it's always a hug, it's always a pound, it's always, yeah, that's much appreciated, because I know how serious this work is. We have serious issues, and a lot of us don't feel secure anymore. If you are from a specific generation, you know, mine or the one after, many things that we believed in no longer exist. And that pulls that security from up under you. And we already know that time is of the essence, and nobody is promised to be in the mix. And that causes anxiety, and serious other issues arise. But the more we get together, the more we talk, and the more we put truth on the table, the more we put reality on the table, it will give us that healing that so many of us can use from time to time. So when I see people lie, blatantly lie, or put out these narratives that, you know, are a con or a sham, you know, or really lead to nothing, it's triggering. So I'm making an attempt to keep the tone in a good space, okay? But y'all could tag Nori. Tag Nori, tell him to come to class. Tag Busta, tell him to come to class. Tag Cam, tell him to come to class. Tag Young Thug, he won't be able to come, but maybe a representative could come to class. But you tagging Nori, and I want to do this and get this off and make very clear a comment that I made, and I'm going to do it on social media and publicly, because that's where it began for this particular incident to be brought to my attention. 4 weeks ago, this is how long it's been. 4 weeks ago, Nori did a live, an IG live. Well, he had his people do it while he was in the town. Yeah. Salute for the green screens, much appreciated. He had his people do a live while he was in the town, and in the live he was in Manhattan and talking, walking tough, and you know, sprinting, and made statements about him being in the town and about him catching a bid here, and again posturing. And I felt the ways. I'm not going to even lie to you. I felt the ways about it, and in it, I know people don't particularly watch me. People don't follow me. People really are not hip if they're not in this class. Y'all hear me? Yeah, because I know it's moving, it's freezing a little bit. So, in this video 4 weeks ago, he was fronting, he was stunting, he was capping, and I have my comment right from that, and it was very specific. I'm thinking it's not going to do nothing. It's going to go, you know, go right up under the bridge with the rest. But in it, I said, while you in the town, pull up to left rack and see Shamik, comma. drop some bread in the hood, and give a couple of the youngins a job. That was it. That's the comment, as y'all can see. That was it. So now, of course, you're going to have some of his nut gliders, trolls, but not many, say little slick things, and, you know, he don't owe nobody nothing. He don't, you know. But again, when these podcasters and these different dudes who are from the town, and I keep telling y'all, they don't live in the town no more. They don't care about the town, okay? Never let them stun on you. That's how you pull away from the attention that you give them. So, me, I'm going to say, while you in the town, don't go to Midtown Manhattan fronting and stunting. There's nobody in Midtown. Nobody. Stores, corporations, stupid ass characters on the deuce, hustling for people to take pictures. Big robotic transformer uniforms and extra large Elmos and dumb shit. So while you're in the town, pull up to the rack. You understand? Because we have seen that, of course, it's been top 3, arguably top 3 in this social media space for the last couple of years now. Pull up in the town, go to the rack where you from, where you really caught the bid, and see Shamik. Now, the only reason why I said to see Shamik is because he's part of family, which I considered. I knew him since a preteen. He lived with my family. So we have a bond, so I believed, right? With my initial cousins. Like, I'm coming through while they preteens, and I'm holding the hammer, and I'm showing them hammers, how to move, how to navigate, how to talk, how to be in the mix. Not only was he in the home of my family and living with my family, he's also God body. He's also Muslim, right? Because of course of the 5% influence in Queens. Many who were in the street have knowledge of self. And many transition and take their shahada and start deaning. So not only is he family, he's also an heir-like and also a brother. And not only was he in the house, but we bidded together. Bidded together. So of course, if this clown is gonna say that he's in the town, I would want him to go see somebody official who I know is in the town. So that was the meaning of that statement. And see him, that was it. Comma, which means I'm breaking and going into another subject in the sentence. Drop some bread in the hood, and give a couple of youngins a job. That's the comment. So 4 weeks ago, and here and there, people would say something. I'll look on the comment. People would say something. You know, I get a notification. But I happen to be alarmed today when I come on after a tumultuous couple of days. I come on IG and see a message in my DMs from Shamik, and he was taken aback by whatever got to him about the statement where it said that I told Nori to give him some bread. I never told him that. So whoever told him that wrong, or if he read it in the wrong context. And of course he was upset because, he's not on social media, yaka daka daka. Cool, to each his own. To each his own. But I just found it that on Juma Friday, where I know you're deaning, that you choose that day, today, to make statement to me when you could have called. Because not only are you family or brother, but you have my direct number. So again, like Benzino, when people are in a position where they may feel a ways, could have called, right? Could have called. Just like I said with Cappin ass Busta, that it was his duty as an older man with kids to call. But since, these dudes lack integrity in the industry, they don't move like that. You dig? But I never would expect that from somebody who's not industry and in the streets on a regular basis, and family. Call so we can speak. You understand? See, people don't call because sometimes they don't want clarity. They want to believe what they want to believe. And again, I understand the trauma of the streets. I understand the trauma of being behind the walls. I understand the trauma of having so many of these dudes in the industry come up under you and nothing come from it. So there's a moving away. And I also understand when you've come up in a certain era, right? To know that things are not the same. And the adjustment of older individuals still in the street or still making an attempt to find their way could be a bit troublesome. So it's a fall back from everything. But when we fall back from everything, then anything happens. And these sucker dudes continue to cap in the front. So that was what I was talking about when I made that statement. Because I know Shamik is a live dude. And in that, I know for a fact that this dude is not going to come from his luxury in Miami, his luxury fronting for these euros, to go to the hood and make a difference, even if it's just to pop up and to afford someone the graces of a little bit of hope that they too can do what needs to be done in order for them to enhance the quality of their life. So in that, I'm going to take the lesson in that. I'm going to take the lesson in that because I shouldn't have mentioned any name. I should have just said, go to left rack. But just like a lot of these social media dudes, a lot of these podcasters or quote-unquote influencers, when they do go back to where they were raised and what they claim in the beginning of their careers, what made them, they go early Saturday morning, nobody's out. They go to the far end, the gentrified end, they pull a stunt, and then they breeze. So again, I never want people to continuously cap, to continuously be fronting for these children. But that's my L. Because if I knew that he would have felt the ways about saying his name, I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have printed it. Now, maybe feeling the ways because he thought, like, when he hit me, that I said, go see him and drop him some bread. No. That wasn't the statement. So, again, take the time to read. Take the time, if you have access, to call. Because what I do here is a teaching session. Okay? It's truth and it's clarity. Don't let these dudes continue to stun on y'all. And that's the whole essence of my comment. So now that I know that Shamik heard it or got wind of it, I know Nori did too. But what did he do again? Today he pulled another stunt in the Gucci store. You see what I'm saying? All the canceling Gucci, all the forget about Gucci, all that shit is out the window. Because black men don't never hold tight for shit, don't stand for shit, which is why 90% of the time what these bankers do, what these old fays do, what these Euros do is well deserved. It's well deserved. And many of you, when you send me things, what I do, shrug my shoulder, especially when it comes to Euros, because you deserve it. Most of the time they deserve it. Because in this age, in 2023, there's absolutely no reason for anybody to still be asleep. No reason for anybody to still not be woke. No reason for anybody not to fight back. So I shrug my shoulders. I don't give a damn. You understand? For us to still be caught up in the shit that people are caught up in. Knowing what's going on right now. Okay? So that's my point of clarity. I had to make sure because, again, it was done publicly on social media, so it came out my mouth now. Doesn't mean I'm going to take my foot off the gas pedal when it comes to Nori or any of these dudes that seem so pleased with themselves, right, around Euro. That's where we at with it. And y'all could tell them that. Take that shit to heart. Take it to heart because I don't get it. These are the dudes that's in the space that supposed to know. That they, right here, they're supposed to know because they had knowledge of self from children. From children. From a child to a preteen, all the way into the industry. These individuals who wear garb, who wore kufis, who wore thickabees, who wore all type of Palestinian head wraps and used the images of radical Muslims and put that in their lyrics. Especially Nori, Tragedy, Gaddafi, and all them. Especially them, so they know. But yet now, they sense it's convenient for them to be in bed with the Euros. All that's supposed to go out the window. All that's supposed to go out the window. So let us be mindful. Let us be mindful. I want y'all to understand this. Let's see what Nori, Nas, Prodigy, Gaddafi, what they came up under. Who is the 85%? Who is the bill powers? Who's the bill powers? The uncivilized people, poison animal eaters, slaves from a mental death and power, people who do not know the living God or their origin in this world, and they worship that they know not what, who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to lead in the right direction. This is what they came up under from pups. Who is the 10%? We call them Euros now. We call them bankers now. Whatever terminology, O-face. Who is the 10%? The rich. The slave makers of the poor. Who teach the poor lies. To believe that the almighty, true, and living God is a spook and cannot be seen by the physical eye, otherwise known as the bloodsuckers of the poor. So when they're making these quote-unquote deals with the divine evils, with the devils, and you don't get nothing from the deal, your children's, our understandings, don't get nothing from the deals that they make. Huh? Who's not living right and exact? Who are the 5% in the poor part of the planet Earth? They are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10% and are all wise and know who the living God is and teach that the living God is the Son of Man, the supreme being. The black man of Asia, right? And teach freedom, justice, and equality to all human family of the planet Earth, otherwise known as civilized people, also Muslims and Muslim sons. This is what a majority of queens come up under. I don't care if you in Astoria in Queensbridge or all the way on Far Rockaway in Jamaica. The 7 Crowns made sure that, just as we did in Medina, they came up under that. So when they sit there and make deals with the devil and then put false narratives into play via social media, they're supposed to be given justice. So when I'm speaking truth to power, when I'm speaking truth, I'm not coming at them. It ain't nothing personal. It's business. I'm doing my duty as a civilized person. I'm doing my duty. And anybody that's around them should appreciate that duty being given. Huh? Right? Come on. Because that is what it is, right? What is the duty of a civilized person? To teach uncivilized people who are savage. Civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. That is the duty. That is the duty. Am I right? If a civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done? If a civilized person does not perform his duty, which is teaching civilization to others, they should be punished with a severe punishment. What is the prescribed law of Islam of said person of that ability, that the civilized person is held responsible for the uncivilized, and he must be punished by the nation of Islam. How are they doing that? How are they doing that? Making deals. Because, let me tell you this, the first deals they made were with the music industry, with the entertainment industry. That's the first deal that they made. And in that deal, they took their hard-earned labor, their lyrics, their time in the studio, and exchanged it for pennies. And most of the time, didn't even put any of the degrees in it, any of the lessons in it. I mean, Busta didn't, though he claimed guard body. He claimed that. Got on wax and said, baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. Woo-ah! Put them all in check. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. Not a degree in there. Not a degree in that. None of that. Woo-ah! And all this other shit. Give me some more. And all this other, not a degree in it. So that's the first sign that you know that they're not right and exact. And they've been doing it for 30 years. This is 3 decades now. So and we know that they weren't getting nothing in those deals. We're going to get to that later. Wasn't getting nothing in those deals. So now that the music is done, that they're not selling, and this right here happens to be the new way to garner resource for them to pay their mortgage and their rent, these are the new deals that they're getting. Okay? The new deals that you're seeing these podcasters get. But again, just like they were under master, right, for their master recordings on those plantations that we call record companies and labels, that's the same thing that's going on now. So as you see Barstool Sports, as you see Complex Magazine, as you see all of these entities that's making deals with these has-been rappers, they're under another plantation. It's only one plantation to the next. Just like when you get transferred in the penal system, when you're going from jail to jail, one plantation to the next. So now there's not the record company label that's giving you the deals. You just up under another master. So now you're up under the master of these tech companies who started these gambling apps. So they're not getting deals that are solid. They're not getting deals that give them independence. They're not giving them deals where they could walk upright as a wise and civilized God, or proper Muslim son, or as a man. They're still getting slave deals. They're still getting sunned. So you have to check them. You have to check them. And though many may claim, well, I'm not God, but I just say I'm God. I didn't even say I'm God. I'm not in that. I'm trying to find a way to feed my family. So now, in that space, I done took my shahada. Because in that, there's leeway. Because we see how a lot of the Islamic merchants and barons and businessmen move in the mix when it comes to dealing and trading and bartering with euro, right? We see what they do with the oil. We see how they do it. We see how they do it with, trafficking and things of that nature. We see how they do it in our hoods, selling pork and cigarettes. We see that. But even in Islam, Let us see what it says. In Islam, justice is woven into the very nature of the cosmos. Repeat, justice is woven into the very nature of the cosmos. The Quran states, God raised up the heavens and established the scales of balance. Quran 55, Surah 7. A phrase which commentators take to mean he established justice. This concept of balance is central to the Islamic definition of justice, which entails upholding the rights due to others or giving what is due to the one to whom it is due. Upholding rights begins in one's relationship with God, acknowledging that God is the sole sovereign. The ultimate objective of one's pursuits. Ultimate objective. Not a deal from Gucci, not a deal from Hennessy, Moet. Not a deal from a gambling app. This ain't my words. It's coming from Kitab. Okay? The objective of one's pursuits, the only one worthy of worship, which constitutes part of the basic testimony of faith in Islam. Pure monotheism, is the Quranic message. The deification of earthly creatures, invention of false deities, and worship of others alongside God all constitute associating partners with God. Shirk in Arabic, which is termed a grave injustice. Quran 31:13. The primary victim of such an injustice is one's own soul, because it is deprived of the spiritual fulfillment that comes about from a meaningful connection with one's creator, and instead becomes subjugated to false ideologies and worldly desires. This ain't my words, but I understand. I have a comprehension that even if I'm not deaning, even if I'm a layman, even if I'm somebody who is agnostic, to read and understand what those who claim to follow should be doing. We don't see that. Not seeing that from them. Not at all. Not from Nori, not from Busta, not from DJ Khaled, not from any one of them. Because again, when you side with the divine evil, when you side with capitalism, when you side with an old fate infrastructure and institutions to feed you, you are in complete contradiction and violation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or the degrees. You are now cipher. So of course I get triggered by that, because the babies have no recollection of how to proceed or manifest themselves in a true space. But these same 30-year veterans of the industry who are now propped up because in these deals, they forgot all this. All this is too traumatizing for them to recall because of their past, because they wasn't official in the streets. They didn't mean it. They didn't want to live it. Or they lived it to a degree that they wasn't built for. And the cushion of the bankers, the cushion of the euros fit real nicely, even if it is something in between their grippers. It fits better for them It's less traumatic for them to lay with a gripper on the side of their head than it is to build with righteous brothers and sisters every day and in each and every way. So yeah, it's triggering. It's triggering. You have to know and understand that I, too, have a life. As much as I do in the community, as much as I do on social media, as much as I do for my independent and individual clients, I too have many struggles. But I never shake my responsibility of who I am and having to be on that path. So when I keep getting videos, when people are sending me videos again, I have to go back to Busta. I have to go back to what's Tashim, whatever the hell he is, we don't see him. Where you at in the ciphers, but yet people send me these things I have to comment on. So you send me a video of him. Where was he at? Is that Angela Yee's show? Where he's talking about how it was when you were blowing a spliff and you seen somebody's mother and you were supposed to put it out. And you help her with her bags. And this wonderful story of her ankles being swollen and all this other weird shit. Who mama was that? My mom's ankles ain't swell until she was passing away. And even then. But I get what he was trying to do. I get the embellishment. I get the picture that he was trying to say. But listen to the lessons. And if you didn't do it and you didn't respect her and you didn't help her with her bags and you didn't put it out, you had hell to pay. You was getting knocked upside your head. Just like if you didn't know your degrees, if you didn't know your lessons. So, if he knew that, if this is something he witnessed and he watched, why wasn't any of that in his lyrics? Why hasn't it been in his lyrics? Why wasn't that a teaching in the last 30 years? Once you signed your deal with them euros, why wasn't that consistently your message? So now we wouldn't be where we are. You see the contradiction? You're saying that you experienced it, that you saw it, that you witnessed it, that is what gave you character, yet you didn't put it in your art. 30 years later now, because of social media, because of the platform, this and the lens is on you. This is what you want to say now. Much appreciated, Wallace. Much respect, Monsieur Wallace. Much appreciated. Okay, for the super chat. Do you understand? Right, row, like a dungeon dragon. A fantasy. Right? Not peace, Allah, and justice. Ooh, where peace? Huh? Allah and justice. No, he roaring like Dungeon Dragons. And woo-I. 30 years later now, you want to speak on the lessons that you learned as a kid, as a 12-year-old? But you see, they chastising the youth now. Because they didn't direct them. And now, because they didn't direct them, no, it's not their responsibility. There's no accountability. That's bullshit. So this is why I call cap. This is cap. It's cap. But y'all send it to me. Y'all do. Y'all do. Just like y'all sent me what DMC said. I seen what DMC said. And I've been saying it. Not just recently. I've been saying it for 2 years, 3 years. That there's a difference between commercial, rap, and hip-hop. So now that DMC says it, now everybody lights up. Oh, where did I hear that from? Damn, Bliz been saying that for the longest. Now that DMC said once they started making records, as I told y'all, once you take the creativity, put it on wax and put it in the industry, it's no longer hip-hop. I said that to y'all. So now that DMC said it, I guess we alikes. I guess what I'm saying has been reaffirmed. And I've said it over and over and over and over again. So hip-hop was ours, like I told y'all. Power from the street lights made the place dark. Mixtapes. Once you go into the business, it's not yours. So now DMC said it, like he said, and I said it. 50, hip-hop 50 had nothing to do with hip-hop. Commercial rap. So again, I don't have to front. I don't have to come up. I don't have to yell, scream, jump up and down. I know who and what I am in this space here. Okay? I've been saying it. So now that others are saying it, now that these legends, these pioneers are saying it and articulating it the same way I said it, from the rip, once you come into an already established institution, you don't make the rules. You get paid what we tell you you're getting because this is ours. Once you give me that, that's it. You get it now? And it's ironic that he said it to Nori and Effin. And they sitting there in wonderment. Oh, word, when Bliz been saying it. But again, one day y'all get it. One day they'll get it. Then I'm surgical with this shit. Because I live it. Because I live it. Now, I hope, can only hope, that Busta finds himself and stops stunting. Because again, everybody sounds good, right? Because this is what they did. They're not getting no money from music anymore. They not. It's done. It's dried up. They're not getting any bread from it. So this is the new shit. I've been telling y'all that for a while now. This is it right here. So the deals that they once got, again, the partnerships, again, the slave contracts that they were getting for recorded music, they're not getting anymore. They're getting those contracts here now with different euros, a different plantation. And they puffing out their chests. So we already know that within the 50 years of commercial rap and how long they've been eating off of that, we didn't benefit from that. We didn't get shit. Just like we got very few resources from civil rights, very few resources from Black Power movement, very few resources from the economic tech boom of the 90s or Wall Street from the 80s. We didn't get shit over the last 50 years that these rappers have been dealing with these euros, playing Grippergate games and all type of wildness. Nothing. Not a drop of generational wealth. Nothing. And the same people, some of which are the same people, are now moving into this space or have moved into this space and will get nothing again because they're not bosses. They're workers, which pushed me over, you dig, into Cameron and his Cappin. Now, I wouldn't have said anything, but like I told y'all, I do watch everybody and everything. So when Cam went live, I caught it. He don't go live. I'm trying to figure out what he say because I was hip to what transpired with Melissa Ford. I saw the statement, and the minute that statement came out of her mouth, not only did Joe Buttons check her, two other members that was there checked her, and somebody that was off camera checked her. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you insinuating? What are you saying? And I get what she was saying. I really do get what she was saying. First of all, Harlem World, we already broke that down a couple of classes ago. We know how they give it up. Salute, Grustler, the global hustler. Much appreciated for the super chat coming in from Zurich, Switzerland. So I understood what she was saying. Definitely. Because look, this is what Puffy gonna say. He didn't know she was 17. So I get what Melissa is saying, because back then things were a little bit out of control. Things were wild. And if you're in a brothel, you really don't know who that person is. That's how come a lot of Macs and pimps went down. Because somebody gave them a fake ID or lied about their age, run away, may have been in the stable for a year or two and been underage. It happens to the best of them. So in that, even in that context, Joe and them said, yo, you got to clarify that. You can't say that the way you said it, and didn't allow any room for them to get blamed for it, and didn't allow any room for her to continue on. She continued, and then she apologized. It could have been left right there. But again, in this social media age, everything is capped. Everything can get blown up. Everything can be a point of bringing attention to. So Mr. Cameron comes through. And the media is going, wow, oh, he checked Melissa Ford. Oh, he checked Melissa. And he may have deserved it. He may have deserved to check her and set her straight. But in that, he made a statement that I'm gonna always take issue with. Always. Salute, Andrea. You know how we get down. Much appreciated for the green screen, Andrea Jones. We already know. We spoke earlier. Much appreciated. I always take offense or am triggered by people that say they doing things, especially celebrities and entertainers, that they're doing things for black people, that they're giving opportunities to black people. We already seen how that transpired with commercial rap. We seen that. We seen that. They created opportunities for dudes to get their grippers dug out, for girls to get assaulted, for young women to have their dreams crushed if they didn't give up their grippers and get assaulted, and men and all. We seen with those opportunities that these black scouts, gophers for the Euros done. A lot of pain in that. little profit. Some people were able to get in and get a little better and do a little better for themselves and their family, a little bit. But as a nation, as black people, we haven't gained shit from entertainment and celebrity. One plantation to the next. So when he said that, I said, gotta spank him. Because he made a big deal about him giving this black girl, 22-year-old college, coming out of college, graduate, an opportunity. That him and Mace put up their own bread to start what they doing. And made a deal and sold it. And because of that, they're getting ready to do more for black people. So just like they put a liquor store up in Harlem to help people get drunk, I would love to see what their next thing is. What can you do for black people? And see, people feed into that shit. They really do. Not understanding what it is that you're actually watching, what it is that people are doing when we're on social media. How come some people seem to be everywhere on social media? How come they get articles written up on them on social media? Do you understand? People really don't understand and know how that happens, how that works, how some people are in corporations and some aren't. How come some people can get on YouTube and struggle to get 100 subscribers and others could come just like that and get 100,000? People don't understand that. You dig? They don't get it. Because either they don't have the time to research it, right? Either they don't have time to research it or they don't care to. But I know they're using white folks' money. And any time a black person uses white folk money, at any given time, they could get called to the back office. And that's the shit they don't show y'all. They don't show y'all when Stephen A. gets called to the back office. They don't show y'all when these dudes get called to the back office. They don't show y'all that. They don't show you the real breakdown of the deals. No. They show you them going to Gucci. They show you them with funny suits. They show you them in different spaces. So let's figure it out. Let's be real here. Let's figure this shit out. Let's show you. Because before we're going to tell you how they are able to do it, how Cameron is able to do it, let's just break it down what it is. Because a lot of people don't get it. Right? They really don't. They don't know. So we went from record deals. Right? I'm going to tell y'all, record deals and these same people that were getting these record deals, again, one plantation, they gave their labor over to Whitey, over to the Euro, the bankers. Here, take this, make me a star. We don't know what took place in the back rooms, though maybe Puffy in his testimony, should he be brave enough to go to trial, will start telling people, this is what happened to me. Yeah, I hope Puffy says it. I hope he says, yeah, Clive moisturized my grippers. And because I learned that from Clive, I felt it in my heart to continue the practice and just moisturize everybody else's grippers, because that's what I learned. So let's talk about this. This a little piece that I got up for you about record deals, right? From 1960, before some of us, to 1997. right? With some help from UK and rock and roll, the album format, right? This is the album format. We went from the album format to the 8-track format to the cassette format to the CD format, right? Exploded in the 60s, albums in the 60s. Margins grew and music entered into a new era of long form expression, right? And with that long form expression, which means listening to albums for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then subsequently having clubs or concerts where you could go and practice that, money came from that. Back then, royalties usually spanned 5 to 12% in the States and 8 to 15% in the UK, with advances ranging from $5,000 to $15,000 for new bands, plus a 3-year, 6-album terms with 1 album commitment from the label, calling them 1+5s, with 25% of the artist's publishing income locked down. Then TV came about. So this is the deals that they was getting. Shit like that back then, right? And then shit moved. 2014 from 1997, peer-to-peer file sharing. Remember I told y'all about Napster. That blew everything up. Excuse me. Instead of labels selling CDs for $10 to $22, listeners were downloading records for free and previewing songs and cherry-picking their favorite artists for 99 cents. So now, if the industry can't get bread, you know the artist ain't getting bread. So now they started giving 360 label deals. Woo-wee. Okay? Artist revenue stream imaginable, meaning a mix of income from endorsements. 360s gave the labels access to that. Every artist. From endorsements, 15 to 30% of endorsements, touring, 10 to 30%, merch, 20 to 50%, sync, which is what we do with these streams and downloads, 15 to 40%, and whatever else goes right to the labels. So now if the dude was getting beat on some dumbass contract he signed 30, 20 years ago, he definitely ain't getting nothing here. So they try to push for the labels to get him more bread. But again, Massa run the plantation. So a lot of these dudes just stopped making music, broke out, and saw what a lot of these bloggers started turning into on YouTube, on Facebook, on these new apps and stuff, and seeing that they were getting money, getting liquid. So now the artist is like, how could I get some of that? All the way up until today, let's see what it takes to get a podcast. Because you got to get in it. Because when these niggas talk about they could make opportunities happen for black people, we got to check them on that. Because Cam ain't doing shit for black people. He may have done it for that black girl, the young black woman, and he may have done it for the dude, the smiling dude that's always behind the camera, who just happened to be at the end of his live cheesing. Don't know why him and this man is in the hotel room together, but it is what it is. No pun intended. There's not much opportunity for black people in that. Nah. Very selective space, unless you're going to bend your grippers over. So, what is a podcast? Let's give you the definition. A podcast is an audio-only episodic series that features one or more hosts talking about a particular topic. There are podcasts that discuss just about anything you can think of. From current events to true crime to beekeeping. That's a podcast. Okay? That's what a podcast is. Okay? Now, How do you get right? Well, here goes some of the key points. You want to build an audience. The most successful podcasts reach millions of listeners. A podcast is a relatively inexpensive way to build a following. 2, you want to build credibility as an expert in your niche or industry. You want another stream of revenue or income. Because podcasts are a more intimate medium, they can be a powerful way to sell your product or service. If you don't have a specific product or service you'd like to sell, you may eventually be able to monetize your podcast by playing sponsored advertisements and earn money that way. You want to build your network. You want to have fun. All right? Now, some of the misconceptions about a podcast. You need expensive equipment. You can start a podcast with equipment you likely already own. Okay? Podcasts are a dying medium. That's a misconception. Podcasts aren't going anywhere, nor are they becoming any less popular. So you could get on in it. You need a large following. That's a misconception. Podcast episodes need to be long. That's a misconception. You understand what I'm saying? So, check it now. I want you to check it. Because when it comes to hip hop, or somebody that's been in the business 30 years, they just jumped over all of that. And anybody who's in tech, who has money, already know rappers made the record industry wealthy over the last 20, 30 years. They're going to do the same for the tech community, the podcast community. Why? Because it's proven. It was proven from the minute we jumped into the recording industry. From the minute you took hip hop and turned it into commercial rap, commercial means successful. So they already know that these guys have a following. So all they got to do is sit in the seat. So when Cam is saying he put up his own money, what money? They just told you. Podcast is not expensive. Not that expensive at all. They had an audience. Mace was just beefing with Diddy for a whole year prior to them getting with Cam and making that. So he already had the buzz. People already wanted to hear what he had to say. People been wanting to hear what Cam had to say, especially since the verses. So it only made sense for them to say, yo, listen, let's do this. And of course, it's going to take off because everybody else that's doing it ain't had no proven track record. You had a bunch of street dudes. You had a bunch of gang members. You had a bunch of different individuals doing these things, actors and actresses and news pundits. Why not hip hop? Why not real solid hip hop dudes? It's going to blow. Anything we touch is going to blow. So Cam and Mace bet on themselves. And in betting on themselves, they got a betting app to come through and say, hey, let's take y'all to the next level. The same way they did for Nori. Because again, the people who gave or put up bread, the deal for It Is What It Is to expand, they used to be part of different gambling apps, rather. They came from DraftKings and all that. So it only makes sense for them to get their own piece of these rap dudes to push it to the next level. It's not opportunity for black folk. It's opportunity for those two black folk and whatever 2 or 3 that they're going to push. Okay? Because you really want to know who is in bed with them, it's these dudes here. Underdog fantasy. It's underdog fantasy. Brandon, who he shouted out, Brandon, what's his name? Stackenborg, ironically, who's out of Brooklyn. Trevor John, and Jeremy Levine. But when you go and look and research, what are they upbringing? What is their religion? What are their political beliefs? It's scrubbed. You can't find none of that. But you can find the company and how much money they've been gathering. People been investing in them because they had a proven track record at DraftKings. So people such as Mark Cuban, Kevin Durant, and certain individuals from the NBA and other rappers put up that bread to make sure Underdog Fantasy popped off. And as such, who else would Cam and Mace go to? Being that they're ex-ballers. Being that they are in a space where they may be hip-hop and rap, they're also sports. But what does that do for us as black people? Because we know Underdog Fantasy has a board. We know that whatever little bit they gave Cam and Mace, these dudes is up. Up. Okay? Up. So if they gave him 10, if they gave him 15 million, we talking about a gambling app that pulls that shit in a week or two. So how do we benefit when you're saying you give an opportunity to black people? Vitamin D, salute. Much appreciated for the green screen. Much appreciated, Grussler. You know how we do. I want to understand that because that shit they've been talking that, doing for black people. I'm representing for black people in this space for years. For years. And we ain't get shit yet. I already ran down the line. We done have wealthy people in Hollywood, in athletics, for eons. For eons. And what happened? Nothing. 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 Somebody getting shot in Brooklyn every day. Every day for the last month, someone was shot in Brooklyn. Shot in the Bronx, in Queens. Every day. Every day. So what and how does any athlete or entertainer's riches trickle down to put a dent in that shit? Nothing. Sammy Davis Jr. Matter of fact, hold up. Sammy Davis Jr. Matter of fact, today, let's just see how divine order works. Today is his birthday. Sammy Davis Jr. was in Hollywood before Hollywood was even there. This mama was in vaudeville since 3 years old. Was in the entertainment industry 60 years. 6 decades. And I ain't seen not one movie. Not one movie that he was in shit in the longest. Got to be over 10 years. So how did his success, and talk about fly, talk about fly, He was one of the flyest things. You think Gucci, diamonds, drip? Couldn't drip. Ain't nobody drip more than Sammy Davis Jr. Nigga, he was with the Rat Pack. How did his drip transition into us as a people moving forward? Remember, he was already, he was with the bankers. Yeah, Star David and all that. So that shit ain't transition at all. I want to know. Shit, our kids don't even know who the hell that is. God damn it. Who had more drip than Liberace? Half of y'all in this class might not even know who the hell Liberace is. Huh? Who had more drip than that? And he died. And Sammy Davis Jr. died. And Cam is going to die. And Mace is going to die. And Busta is going to die. And I'm going to die. And all the organs are going to shut down. And all the fucking liquid is going to drain out of our bodies. And we're going to stink. And if we don't have a legacy of enlightening somebody and changing the quality of somebody's life through work and information, it ain't a diamond, it ain't a deal, it ain't nothing that you ever could do that's gonna be worth a damn. Nigga, don't let them stun on you. They're going to die. And they're gonna stink. What did you get from their drip? What did you get from their deals with Whitey? That's the triggering piece. Because they sit here and waste your time. Now, to each his own. Everybody ain't built to be conscious. Everybody's not built to be woke. Everybody's not built to work with and for the people. But don't step over into this realm. Don't speak that speak and think that when people hear it, they're not going to check it. When you are oppressed, when you are people who are third class, when you are people who have to struggle, because historically we've been at war, you have a duty. You have a duty to unite and fight, to teach, to educate. And when you shirk your responsibilities, damn you to death. They stunting and they capping. And that's less than a man. That's less than a god. Floss and drip and all this other shit and dip. And they sitting around with nothing but euros. Who are making sure that every dollar that they get, they put back into their people and the legacy of their people. And the main objective of their people is to make sure that you and yours don't get nothing. That is our duty. That is why the children are moving the way they're moving. Because we came from a whole nation where we built what hip-hop was supposed to do, and they failed. They failed. They are failing. It is what it is. Pun intended. don't never let nobody stun on you or her or any black woman or Ford or any of that. And you niggas sitting here and acting like they doing it. They been about it. They not about nothing. I've been doing it, I am doing it, and I will continue to do it. Because you can have drip, you can make deals, you can have subscribers, you can be number 1, 2, 3, or 5 on any list that they create. You can have all the press and everything. Be fabulous. Be running around with all type of wardrobes and then all type of showrooms and cars and boats. But these niggas never ever say they want to be free. That never come out their mouth. They never want liberation. They never want unity. They don't. They don't care about you. They care about your interest in them. Period. And that is the sadness. That is the tragedy, like a goddamn Shakespeare play. That is going to be the tragedy of black folk. To never get free. That's going to be a tragedy. If I keep telling y'all, I wrote about it in a book. I said right now, if the universe had a viewing and black folk died, if all of us died, and they were having a universal funeral, and they read our obituary, and it says here, from the sun, moon, and stars, graced these beings who had knowledge of self, and yet let a diseased individual, a grafted individual, if we're going to believe that he's grafted, a disease, a sickness, come through and destroy the self-esteem of those people. And he enslaved some of them and caused infighting. And these great people made great struggles. And this great people lived within the institutions and the confines. And anytime they invented something, they gave it to their enslavers. They never organized. They never fought back. They wanted to see themselves in their masters. They wanted their masters to see them and embrace them. And then all of a sudden, they died, never fulfilling their potential. That's the tragedy of black folk. And y'all allowing entertainers and celebrities to do that shit. That is your obituary. It is your duty to shift that. Who the hell wants to die and have that their obituary? That you never wanted freedom, you never fought for liberation. You just remained under your goddamn enslaver's boot. That's what your obituary is right now. Change it. You have to fix it. Well, that is the story of black folk. And ain't no one nigga with a car or a mansion or a piece of diamond or some goddamn Gucci drawers or chicken balls can ever change that truth. You tell that to some other nigga, not me. I'm too sharp for it. So again, don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. I don't come here to lie. I was birthed by two great individuals. And again, I heard him. Yeah, I heard everything he said. I heard him say he watched his mama die. Well, you know what? I watched my mama die too. 6 months in the hospital, sir. Ovarian cancer. I would go in the hospital and have to clean my mother because the staff wouldn't do it. Because she had a bag and couldn't hold solid food and it would leak. And me as a grown man just coming from jail, 10 years, would have to clean my mother. So I know what that's like. And I will never diminish the effects that it had on you, sir. But my mother taught me never to sell out. To continue to fight until my people are liberated. So I understand the pain. I know what that's like. So yeah, sir, you ain't the only one to watch your mama die. There's never an excuse. Never an excuse to sell out your fucking people for a bag. Thank my classroom assistants for holding it down. Salute to everybody who contributed to fund this war effort. Those who know. Okay? All peace and power to the people that struggle. We want freedom. We want liberation or nothing less. Get our reparations in blood. Peace.